Shall I go?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. After relegation then, David, what kind of reaction are you expecting from the players? Do you think they maybe play with a little bit more freedom at Hull this weekend?
Well, you never can tell, can you? I've not been in this position before, so I couldn't tell you exactly. But when you watch football, sometimes you do see teams change, react a bit different. But our performances in recent weeks have been good. Our results have not matched it, but our performances have been good.
Obviously it's a huge game for Hull, and all your remaining games have got something on them for the other team as well. Does that help in terms of giving you that little bit of an edge?
Well, I think it keeps us focused. I mean, what we need to do is make sure that we try and get a good bit of momentum now going into next season. So we want to try and win a couple of games, push ourselves forward. But our performances are getting closer to winning. I feel as if more that, like, if we keep playing the way we're doing, we're not that far away from winning. Small things have made a little bit of a difference. You know, we're a bit unfortunate at Middlesbrough. We certainly were a bit unfortunate against Bournemouth in our last game. So there's been a few games recently where we've certainly looked like more likely to pick up points.
For some of the players playing for their futures next season?
I think if you're a player, you're always playing for your future. I've not known it any other way. I was a player myself. Every game, every time you cross over the white line, you're judged. You want to always play in the team if you can. So if you want to play, you've got to play well in the game to sort of be selected in the next game. But also we've got a lot of players who are coming out of contract, and we know that I'm guessing some of them are looking to see what their future holds as well.
Lots of discussion about your future this week. What is the latest? Have you met with the owner this week?
I've met with Martin and Ellis this week. We had initial discussions about going forward, what we're going to do, how we see things, and we've planned to meet again in the next couple of weeks.
Is it important that a decision is made quickly?
Well, I don't know what you mean by decision. I've got a 4-year contract, so I don't know what you're talking about by decision.
Are you committed to staying? Will you be at Sunderland next season?
Yes, yeah. So we have to work. We have to find a way to getting things correct, and we're looking to see what we can do.
Do you feel it will be a major rebuilding job, dropping down to the Championship? You've had so much success in your career. Is the hunger still there to rebuild the club?
Well, I think if you talked about the club, not about David Moyes, I think if you mentioned the club, I think right from the start we did say there looked like a rebuilding job to be done. So hopefully that we can get that going. We can try and get things in place. But I'll know more come the end of the season. Once we see exactly what we're able to deal with, what we can work with, we'll know exactly what we can do.
Will you need assurances in terms of what you'll get to rebuild the squad in terms of finances?
Well, we'll have a meeting at the end of the season, as I said. So just to go back to it, and we had a meeting this week, and we've put initial things down, and we'll talk about the rest of it next week. Or not next week, the week after. With
relegation, is it inevitable that you're going to lose some players, the likes of Jermaine Defoe and Jordan Pickford?
Well, we can only lose the ones who are in contract, out of contract, I should say. Jordan Pickford's in contract, so no, there's nothing to say that we'll lose Jordan Pickford.
And Jermaine Defoe?
Well, Jermaine Defoe's got a contract, possible.
And final one from me. Mental health is talking point this week with Aaron Lennon. Do you feel as though it is a major issue in football, and is there enough that's done for player welfare?
I think it is something which is on the rise, and I think it's because it's been made much more aware, and that's good. That everybody's aware that it can be difficult. It can be a difficult job being a player or a manager for that fact. We've seen managers in the same situation as well. So it's something where it's good that we're taking more awareness of it, and I just hope that Lennon improves and gets better quickly.
David, you did just say yes that you were committed to being here next season. Is that a position that's become clearer during this week because of those meetings, or was that always the case?
Well, Ellis and the board want me to stay, so I'll meet at the end of the season. I want to know at the moment what things look like going forward, and we've only put the initial plans down at this present time.
And what was your reaction to the meeting you had? Was it an encouraging, uplifting type of meeting? Because understandably, you must have been deflated after last weekend.
Yeah, we were deflated. I wouldn't say it was an uplifting type of meeting. It wasn't. We weren't there for that. We were there to talk business. None of us were happy because we're disappointed we got relegated.
Was it a time for analysis about what went wrong?
A little bit. We talked about many things. So we talked about lots of things. We talked about the past and we talked about what it looks like going forward.
And in your own mind, do you have a clear pattern and a clear view about what needs to be done here to turn things around?
I know what needs to be done to get back into the Premier League, and I know the sort of requirements which are an idea of that to get back. But again, we've only just had initial talks, and we'll talk again at the end of the season. And
they were very responsive, the owner and the chief executive, to your views?
Sure we are, yeah.
So what do you think the rest of the season needs to hold for you then? How much will you be looking at what happens in these next few games to deciding the way Sunderland should go forward?
Well, I think for us is to make sure that we try and win the games or do everything we can to win. We also, you know, we respect the Premier League, we respect the league, and it's really important for lots of teams, whether it be at the bottom end or the top end. So we'll try and play the best we can. And as I said previous, I thought we've played very well in recent weeks. We've just not quite got the results, which happens sometimes when you're at the bottom. Let's hope that can change.
How have the players been this week?
The players have been fine, but you never can judge what mood you're supposed to be in. You know, we're obviously disappointed, but we also have to try and pick the players back up and get ready to play the next game.
Hull looked like it was going to be the classic six-pointer at one time, but obviously it's still very important for them. Do you look at the job that Marco Silva's done and what he did in January, and how impressed are you with what he's done?
I think he's done a very good job. I think Mick Phelan had a good team there. I thought he done well with him, Mick. I thought they started the season really well with a small squad. But I think they brought in 5 or 6 players in January, which you've got to say if you do that, it can make a big difference.
Did that make you perhaps compare the position that you were in at Sunderland, where you're looking at what he's done at Hull and say that might have been something that you should have the opportunity to do?
No, I don't think so. I never compared it at all. No, you only ever look at your own club.
Sometimes in these occasions people say, chuck the kids in, let's see what the youngsters can do. Is this one of those occasions?
Well, I think we're one of the clubs this year who played more kids than probably any other Premier League club. I think we've put in young players. I think we've Donald Loft, Paddy McNair, Jordan Pickford, Duncan Watmore, Lyndon Gooch, George Honeyman. I think we've actually given a lot of young players an opportunity this season.
Just a final thought on what this week's been like for yourself. How criticism inevitable, and I'm sure you would have expected it as well. Has that been hurtful?
I think when you're a football manager, you're always going to have criticism, especially when you're not doing well. We're not doing well, so that's part of the job.
David, events have proved you right, but when you look back at the start of the season, when you said you warned the fans that it was going to be a relegation battle, how do you look back on that?
I look back at it being, I was very honest, very forthright, told people what I thought. I came to a part of the country which I was led to believe that's the way they wanted spoken to, and I told them exactly. And the reasons as well, we had been in a relegation battle for the 4 previous seasons also. So to say, would we be in a relegation battle? Yes.
I know we always like managers to tell the truth, but did it not set the bar a bit low, so lower expectations?
Well, you just said it, you want managers to tell the truth, and I do. Okay, cheers lads, thank you.
Thank you.